presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Minnesota.
Opening day is right around the corner. 1 month from tomorrow, the Twins are busy here at Hammond Stadium getting ready for the 2012 season. Familiar names and faces are hard at work, hoping to have a much better season in 2012. And we welcome you to Fort Myers, Florida. Dick Bramer along with Burt Blyleven. The best way to forget about a bad season is to start the next one, and that's what the Twins are getting done here.
Yeah, this will be game 4 for the Minnesota Twins here in spring training in Fort Myers, Florida. One guy that has really worked hard all winter long to get ready for spring training is Joe Mauer. Also Justin Morneau. Both of them playing very well so far. They've been consistent, and that's what the Twins need. These guys, Dick, need to be on the field for spring training, and we're going to see them both in the lineup tonight.
A lot of familiar names are gone from the Twins this year, but some new faces and names come to the roster, including tonight's starting pitcher, Jason Marquis.
Yeah, Marquis comes in with some pretty nice credentials. He's won over 100 ball games at the major league level, signing as a free agent. This guy, when he is on, he'll get a lot of ground ball outs.
Well, the Twins would like to forget most of what happened in 2012. So would their opponent tonight, the Boston Red Sox. They got a few skeletons in their closet after what happened last year. We'll have a Grapefruit League game here in Fort Myers, Florida in just a moment. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. Twins have won 2 of the first 3 games so far in Grapefruit League play. They'll take on the Boston Red Sox here tonight.
Nice to be back, isn't it?
It is good to be back. You know,
Yes.
the players talk about it. I think the fans are excited to get the season started. I know you and I are, so we're happy to be bringing you our first spring training telecast tonight. And here's the Red Sox Menards batting order. Jose Iglesias leading off. Ryan Sweeney hitting second. Kevin Youkilis third. Yeah, first baseman David Ortiz hitting cleanup. Darnell McDonald, Josh Kroger, Kelly Shopik, Nick Punto, and Jason Repko. A lot of familiar names in that Red Sox lineup.
Oh, there's Jason Marquis. Marquis, 33 years old, signed as a free agent by the Braves, a former #1 pick by the Atlanta Braves way back in 1996. This guy talked to Rick Anderson, a pitching coach, prior to Marquis starting to warm up. He said a lot of fastballs and changeups here tonight. Not too many breaking balls, just wants to work on control and then work on the changeup. Something you see a lot of spring training, especially early on, Dick.
A veteran player, veteran pitcher like Marquis will be working on his things through spring training, working on his pitches. And
yeah, so far all the starters have pitched well. It'll be Scott Baker tomorrow and then Nick Blackburn, but Liriano pitched 2 very good innings. Carl Pavano 2 very good innings. Marquis right now scheduled to start Game 3 in Baltimore if it stays in this rotation.
And the Twins have gone this route before with veteran pitchers. A few years ago, Livan Hernandez had bounced around quite a bit. He actually pitched pretty well for the Twins up until the All-Star break.
Yeah, Marquis, a former All-Star. He's, like I mentioned before, over 100 games at the Major League level. He's won, so he knows how to win.
Jose Iglesias playing shortstop for the Red Sox, and he takes strike 1. Tim Cheetah, local boy, Twin Cities native, behind the plate for the game here tonight. Iglesias, Sweeney, and Youkilis to get things started for Boston. And missing inside. 1-1.
Well, the Twins are the 7th different Major League team and uniform that Marquis has had on. The Braves, the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Rockies, Nationals, Diamondbacks. First time in the American League for Jason Marquis.
Saw some former Twins in the Boston lineup. They got a former Twin on the first base coach's box. Alex Ochoa is their new first base coach.
Yeah, Ochoa was with the Twins back in 1998.
Some good years in the Major League. Good to see him back up here as a coach. 1-2 to Iglesias. Swing and a miss. And Marquis might not get lead the league in strikeouts, but he gets a strikeout here tonight. Northland Ford,
good location, Dick.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. And some of these names will be in position for the Twins in the opener in Baltimore. Doman, Span, and Willingham across the outfield. Michael Holloman at third. Dozier and Nishioka up the middle. Warno at first. And we've got Joe Mauer behind the plate. Doman new to the Twins, and he might see some time in left field, and he might see some time behind the plate. He won't see time in both positions in the same game.
He's quick, but not that quick.
Here's Ryan Sweeney. Sweeney has kind of bounced around a little bit, too. We saw him with the White Sox the last several years with the Oakland A's, and now his first year with the Red Sox.
I'll tell you, we were talking earlier. When I saw Ryan Sweeney come up with the Chicago White Sox back in 2006, I thought they had a keeper, someone that's going to be in the big leagues for the White Sox for a long time, but it never really has panned out for him. He coming into the season, not a bad hitter, a .283 hitter, but no power. And this guy is 6'4", about 225.
Last 2 years with Oakland, he had 567 at-bats and hit 2 home runs. Cedar Rapids, Iowa native. 3-1 now from Marquis to Sweeney. Up the middle. 2 away. Good play by the shortstop Dozier.
Yeah, I think, Dick, going into spring training, that's the biggest question here. Not only we talked a little bit about the open, about the health of these players, but who's going to be the shortstop, who's going to be the second baseman, the strength, what Ron Gardenhire wants to really establish here, wants guys to step up, and who's going to be my shortstop, who's going to be my second baseman. So important.
And a ball like that, as routine as it was, you just want the confidence on the field and in the dugout that a ground ball when it leaves home plate is going to be turned into an out.
Just make the routine play, and we didn't see that last year on a consistent basis.
Here's Kevin Youkilis. Dozier might get a chance to play at short this year for the Twins. Jamie Carroll's played the first couple days here. He won't be playing tonight. You saw Nishioka over at second base, where he started the year last year. 1 strike to Youkilis. And now a ball. A lot of new faces for the Red Sox, too. We said earlier, half joking, they've got some skeletons in their closet. More accurately, they swept the closet out. New manager, new coaches, new general manager. A lot of new players for the Red Sox, too.
Well, one guy that can flat out hit is this guy right here, Kevin Youkilis. He had an off season last year, but came in, last year hit only .258, and this is a guy that usually hits .280 to .300 mark. He'll drive in, 100 runs.
And there's the new manager, if you can call him a new manager. Bobby Valentine, new for the Red Sox anyway. And just off the corner.
Yeah, look at the career record, over 1,000 wins in his career. He managed for the Rangers, the Mets.
In Japan, where he was a manager of Tsuyoshi Nishioka for a number of years. Fouled away, 3-2. And we referenced it, but baseball fans know, maybe some of our viewers don't, the Red Sox had a colossal, historic collapse at the end of the year last year, and Terry Francona, in essence, switching jobs with Bobby Valentine. Bobby Valentine was a national baseball analyst, and now Francona's doing that. Valentine's doing Francona's old job. There's ball 4 to Youkilis. So a 2-out walk, and Marquis just missing with ball 4.
Yeah, one thing he tries to do is get on top of that baseball. He does a good job right there. Good angle toward home plate. Just missing lows. That's what Tim Cheetah, the home plate umpire, called it. It was low in the strike zone.
Bobby Valentine has said he wants to get David Ortiz out into some games at first base this year. The Red Sox have a great one in Adrian Gonzalez, but when interleague play comes around, the Red Sox would like to be able to have the option, at least, of running Ortiz out there to play a game at first base to get his bat in the lineup. Fouled away.
Dick, I think it would be good. I like his thinking right there. Get him, let him play some first base in spring training. But as the season goes, Gonzalez is going to play, even though he's a guy that does play almost every ball game. Good to give him maybe the DH role, or they say Gonzalez can also play some right field. They have him out in right field a little bit. Let Ortiz, being a DH every day has got to, kind of wear on you sometimes. Let him go out and play a little bit. He's probably happy he's playing first base here tonight.
I'm sure he's getting a little abuse from the Twins dugout, or will when he takes over. There's a ball to the backstop. Mauer tried to backhand it, didn't do it. Might be a pass ball on Mauer here.
Well, a lot of times when the catcher's sitting away, and then you can see where that ball looked like a little cutter right there, like a slider down and in. Ball got away from Joe, and Youkilis goes to second base. And a lot of times, it's Joe maybe has caught him on the side, but not in a ball game to where, how's that breaking ball break? And that's pretty hard breaking ball right there. So it's getting to know your pitchers.
1-2 now to Ortiz.
And one thing Joe does, all the catchers do, no matter who they are, they take a lot of pride in handling a pitching staff.
Well, if you remember back to where we were a year ago with Mauer, he was doing some bullpen sessions, but he spent as much time, I don't want to say inactive, but not part of the regular catching routine that one would go through. Certainly that's changed this year. Popped up, foul, and out of play.
Well, what you have to learn is, what does Marquis like to throw when he's ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes? Does he want to work on that fastball inside to Ortiz by his hands, or does he want to go with that sinker down and away? And only time will help these two guys go about their business. You can almost see Joe kind of point out at Marquis, saying, okay, good pitch right there. As a veteran pitcher, you want to throw. Marquis is going to basically throw what he wants. Joe can only suggest.
There's a call to the strike.
Good pitch.
A 2-out walk does no damage. Youkilis left at second, and a good first inning for Jason Marquis. Gardenhire and Joe Mauer talking about Jason Marquis' first inning in a Twins uniform. Gardy and the coaches have tried to buckle down here a little bit. They've had a little extra time to work on some fundamentals. The Menard batting order tonight: Denard Span, Tsuyoshi Nishioka, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Josh Willingham, Ryan Domit, Luke Hughes in the lineup, Brian Dozier, and Michael Holloman.
And on the mound for the Boston Red Sox, it'll be Clay Buchholz. Buchholz had a frustrating year last year. He's 6-3, but right around June, that back acted up for him, and he ended up missing the rest of the season. A guy that the Red Sox are really counting on this year. One thing that they need good starting pitching. They have Lester, they have Beckett, but that 3, 4, 5 spot, they're hoping that Clay Buchholz can get to where he was a couple years ago when he was an All-Star and a 17-game winner.
Red Sox out on the field have Kruger, Repko, and Sweeney in the outfield. Nick Punto at second base. Another former Twin, David Ortiz at first. Iglesias and Youkilis on the left side of the infield. And veteran Kelly Shopping behind the plate. So much made, and we've contributed to that, talking about Mauer and Morneau, and yet this guy in the box right now, a key for the Twins if they hope to regain some prominence in the division, and that's Denard Span.
I had a chance to go on a winter caravan with Denard, and boy, he's pumped up. He came into spring training in tremendous shape, makes his home just north of here in Tampa, and he's really looking forward to put all that concussion stuff behind him and go about his business. He's a guy that needs to get on, score a lot of runs for the Twins this season.
One strike to Span before his concussion issues surfaced after his collision with Brian Pena in Kansas City. He might have been on his way to an All-Star appearance. And you tend to forget, but you look around in the American League Central, and you could make a case, I think, that Denard Span is the best leadoff hitter in the division when he's able to play.
That's the key right there. Again, the key going into the season. Keep these guys healthy, but get them at bats here in spring training. Remember last year, Dick, how many regulars did not get at bats because of little nagging injuries from Delman Young to Kadire to Mauer, Morneau? You need these guys at bat. I had a chance to talk to Tony Oliva before the ball game about the importance of these guys playing in spring training, and he said it's very important. He said, when I played, if there was 30 spring training games, I wanted to play in 20 to 25 games. I wanted to be ready for opening day.
And there's no comparison for a player in getting at bats in games or opposed on the backfield in a B game or anything like that.
Yeah, Tony said, he used to come out and take as many, swings as he could off a tee or something like that. He said, but you need to face live pitching. You need to see the hard fastball, need to see the breaking ball when you know what's not coming.
And in Denard's case, you need to work at bats, and we've seen him do that here. It's 2-2 when he is on his game, and really the strength of his game is seeing a lot of pitches and going deep into the count. And he takes ball 3.
And that's a good leadoff hitter. It just shows everybody else what Buchholz has had to throw so far. 5 pitches into this at bat. Buchholz still a youngster, 27 years old, in his 6th season with the Boston Red Sox.
And he takes ball 4, so he fell behind. And as patient as he always is, he works out a walk. Now, we saw this the other day. I didn't see either game yesterday, but David Price pitched here on Saturday. And all the way through the batting order, the Twins were very patient with the Tampa Bay pitchers. First it was Price. They were so patient, in fact, Price only pitched 1 inning rather than 2.
I tell you what, Dick, it burns a pitcher, too. If I'm out there and I get ahead of that first hitter 0-2, no balls, 2 strikes, and then I walk him, boy, I'm upset. I don't care if it's my first spring training outing or not. I have to throw strikes.
And here is Tsuyoshi Nishioka. He had a extremely disappointing 2011, his first in the United States, first for the Twins, obviously. And he finds himself in a much different situation here this year, where he, in essence, is fighting for a job.
Well, you know what? You have to kind of back off and say, okay, here's a guy that came from Japan, signed a 3-year contract with the Twins, 2 weeks into the season, breaks his leg. And you see the good move right there by Clay Buchholz. He has a very good move to first base in one area that I know Jerry White's not there at first right now, or Scotty Alger, but They're going to time Buchholz toward home plate. And then Span, one thing he wants to improve this year is not getting picked off at first base.
Scotty Elger in for Jerry White, who's been taken to a hospital today for some observation and tests. Wish him our very best. Up and away to Nishioka. A year ago, the question regarding Nishioka was where he would play, shortstop or second. And I guess in a sense the question is the same, but where will he play? In Minnesota or in Rochester? I mean, it's that extreme a difference between his status a year ago and where he is this year.
So these at-bats very important for Nishioka. You know, you come to a new country, you get settled down. He had a frustrating year last year. He went home, thought about it. He's ready to compete for a starting job.
1-0 to Nishioka. Span leads off. It's 2-0, and Shopik has seen enough. That's 6 in a row outside the strike zone for Buchholz. You mentioned the Red Sox starting pitching, and they have had a lot of depth in that regard, going back to Daisuke Matsuzaka and some others that have come through there. But they are blessed to have 3 top shelf starters in Beckett, Lester, and this guy. If he can stay healthy, figures to be right in there with him.
Well, they're hoping that John Lackey would be that 4th starter, but he's out for the year with the Tommy John surgery.
2-0 to Nishioka. And now 3-0. Nishioka finished the season at short after having his leg broken at second base. Mauer on deck. And 3-1.
Nishioka looking down at Steve Little, a third base coach, maybe Span running right here. Buchholz fighting with his control. Will probably throw a fastball right here. This is what you try to do in spring training. Try to get the players moving. Try a couple things. This is a time to do it.
Twins have worked very hard with Nishioka on his swing, particularly from the left side of the plate. What they've tried to do with Nishioka, in essence, is keep his head still, particularly, again, from the left side of the plate. He tended to have an awful lot of upper body movement over the course of his swing. Span goes, and Nishioka pops it up to the right side, and Span's got to hustle back. Ortiz with the catch, 1 down.
Well, it looked like they put a little hit and run on right there. That's the time to try it. Try to see what he could do. But except Nishioka got a pitch, but he popped it straight up. Got to hit that ball into the ground right there, because with Span taken off, you've got either the shortstop, second baseman covering the bag. There's a little hole right there, and Nishioka popped it up.
So now Mauer, who had a disappointing year with the number of games played and a sub-300 batting average. And he says it's night and day, the difference between what he experienced a year ago and how he feels this year.
I don't care how long you play. Sometimes you go through a season like Joe did. You're on a mission. And Joe, I think we showed you his hard workout routine during the winter. This guy is on a mission along with the guy that's on the on-deck circle. They're so happy to be out there and playing the game of baseball and not have to worry about, little nagging injuries right now.
One strike to Mauer. And a lob to first. Span back again. Mauer caught 5 innings here on Saturday. Didn't play in either game yesterday. Twins had a split squad date yesterday, winning 1, losing 1. Up and in just a little bit, 1-1. Buchholz a little wobbly with his control here early on.
Yeah, a lot of pitches up in the strike zone, just trying to overthrow right now. Buchholz, outstanding stuff. He has 4 quality pitches, but everything keys off the fastball. Got to get the fastball down in the zone.
Check swing. We think they'll appeal. No, it's a check swing, 2-1.
Well, looked like he took something off right here, and Joe able to keep those hands back and the barrel of the bat back.
Crack to the right side. Punto starts a 4-6-3 double play. Buchholz survives some wobbly control and pitches a scoreless first. Those two guys hope that the 2012 bullpen will be better than the one in 2011, but a rough start in that regard. They took a chance on Joel Zumaya, and it didn't work out.
Well, Joe Zumaya, you know, he's got that fastball that can go at, 100 miles an hour in our Stanford health injury report. But sorry for Joe Zumaya. I mean, he came into camps great, great shape, looking forward to getting that arm healthy again, and blew out his elbow. He needs a Tommy John surgery.
Debated for a while whether to even go through it. He spent so much of his career rehabbing one arm injury after another, and he decided to go ahead and go with that and to get the procedure done. Here's Darnell McDonald.
I'm glad he is. He's only 27 years old, so this guy, you come back. It takes a long time to come back from the Tommy John, but hey, if it's still in your heart to compete, go ahead and try it.
Just got to wear on you, though, doesn't it? I mean, you spend so much time with one serious injury after another. Remember, he broke his elbow against the Twins at Target Field a couple of years ago. There's a chopper, and that's past a reaching Holloman at third base, and McDonald will glide to second. Now the ball gets by the left fielder, and McDonald will go to third. Domit couldn't pin the ball into the corner, and McDonald will stand at third with a leadoff double and a error on the play by Domit.
Anytime an outfielder has to go down into that corner, you want to get your body in front of it and make sure it stays in front of you. See right there, he just didn't get that glove down. It got through the wicket, and that allows McDonald to go from second to third.
Josh Kroger will hit with McDonald at third. Twins, of course, playing the infield back here in the second inning. So for Marquis, and you talked about when he's on, he'll get a lot of ground balls. He's had 4 balls put in play, or excuse me, he's had 4 at-bats, 2 strikeouts, and the 2 balls put in play have been hit on the ground.
Yeah, you know what, as a pitcher right here, all you're thinking is continue to throw strikes. the runner at third, 90% of the chance he's going to score right here. So just make good quality pitches. Don't let this inning get away from you.
Sharply up the middle for an RBI single, and Kroger makes it 1-0 Boston.
Well, it looked like they tried to go in on Kroger. It didn't go in far enough. So the ball came back right there over the heart of the plate. Ball down, but Kroger, good piece of hitting right back up the middle, picks up the RBI.
I mentioned the Red Sox had their collapse at the end of the season last year, a collapse that allowed the Rays to get into the playoffs, and Kelly Shopik was one of their catchers last year. Didn't hit much, 176 on the season. Had a good, pretty good postseason for the Rays in their loss to the Rangers, and another one that gets by Mauer to the backstop. That one will be a wild pitch.
Second wild pitch in for Marquis. Shopik squaring around, showing bunt. And that sinker short hops Joe Mauer back into the backstop. Well, Jason Varitek retired. He was the captain of the Boston Red Sox, and they, Varitek, even though he had a pretty good year last year after 16 seasons as a Boston Red Sox, came here to Fort Myers to announce his retirement.
Right after Tim Wakefield did, and Wakefield another mainstay in the Red Sox roster. One and one to Shopik.
It's kind of a homecoming for Shopik. He originally signed with the Boston Red Sox back in 2001.
Speed pitch missing. It's 2-1.
Played for the Red Sox in 2005 before going over to Cleveland, where he spent 4 seasons, and then the Rays for a couple years.
Two and one to Shopik. And that's over the glove of Dozier into left field. Runner will be held at third, and the inning starts with 3 hits against Jason Marquis. And that'll bring up Nick Punto.
Let's take a look at the pitch. Fastball right there. Shopik hitting it sharply. Dozier goes over. Tries to short hop it right there, but the ball bouncing over his glove into left field.
So Nick Punto signing a deal with the Red Sox after winning a world championship, helping the Cardinals win that world championship last year.
He had some injuries last year. He played in 63 ball games, hit .278. Guy that brings a lot of energy with him to the ballpark. 7 seasons Nick Punto wore a Twins uniform.
All those years in postseason play wanting to win a World Series, and he was limited to 133 at-bats for the Cardinals during the regular season, but played in 6 of the 7 games for the Cardinals in the World Series, and eventually he will get his ring.
Boston ended up trading Marco Scutaro away, their shortstop last year, so there's talk that Nick Punto has that opportunity to be their everyday shortstop here in Boston.
Well, the Red Sox are hoping he doesn't play much at second base as he is tonight, because that means something really bad happened to Dustin Pedroia. 2-0. Punto played for the Twins in the playoffs in 2006 and 2009. Another off-speed pitch missing. It's 3-0.
Spring training is about strengthening your arm. 20 pitches in the first inning, 12 so.
In the bullpen, the max for Marquis was going to be 2 innings, and he's having a tough time in this second inning. There's ball 4, and they're loaded up. Weekdays on Fox Sports North, it's the Dan Patrick Show. Exclusive guests, including high-profile athletes and celebrities, breaking sports news, unparalleled insider access, pop culture commentary. The Dan Patrick Show, weekdays at 8 a.m. on Fox Sports North. It's Jeff Manship warming up for the Twins. So 1 run in, base is full, nobody out. And here's Jason Repko. Repko, a utility outfielder for the Twins, and he'll have an uphill battle trying to win that spot for the Red Sox. Marquis starts up high. I mentioned just a couple innings expected of all the Twin starters first time through. And I'm guessing that changed a lot. When you first came up with the Twins in 1970 and then in the early 70s, your first outing of the spring would usually last how long?
About 3 innings.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you try to go 3 the first time out.
And Marquis really struggling here. 2-0. That time Mauer, with the bases full, is able to backhand that ball and knock it down.
Yeah, good job right here by Joe right there. Kind of backhanding that ball.
Repko. And they'll get 1 and not 2. Fourth play at second base. Repko gets credit for a run batted in with Kroger scoring. And it's 2-0.
Now the ball not hit hard enough right there to maybe turn to double play. Repko getting down that line quickly. But he does pick up the RBI, and the Red Sox take a 2-0 lead. Runners at first and third with 1 out. This is where you need the ground ball hit a little bit harder, maybe turn a double play.
Iglesias struck out, leading off the first inning. Beautiful night for baseball here. They're saying game time temperature 70 degrees. It's supposed to get into the 50s, I think, back home tomorrow. Sinker low, ball 1.
You didn't have much snow at all,
no,
did you?
We didn't. You know what? I got almost through the winter without using my snowblower. I got till February 29th, the day before I came down here, and I never even had to fire up the snowblower.
Unbelievable.
1-0 to Iglesias. Runner goes. Mauer throws through. That's a stolen base for Jason Repko.
Well, tough play for Joe Mauer. Good strong throw, but he had to short hop this pitch from Marquis, but still made a good throw. Well, you pick up the runner at third. Joe still strong arm at second, but Repko steals it.
2-0 now to Iglesias. Corner infielders playing even with their bases here. Middle infielders back. Swing and a miss. A mighty swing and a miss by Iglesias. Rick Anderson hoping that Marquis can buckle down here, but in all would be surprised to see a pitching change made if Marquis can't get Iglesias or the next batter. And again, missing low, 3-1. With Ryan Sweeney on deck.
Well, you can see right there, too many balls to strikes. Total of 40.
A sinking fastball gets a swing and a miss. 3-2. Sweeney on deck.
Well, you almost have to go back in again with that sinker. He struck him out in his first at bat with that good sinker inside. A couple swings and misses so far on that pitch inside to Iglesias. Iglesias only 22 years old, defecting from Cuba, signed by the Boston Red Sox in 2009.
Marquis with a long look into Mauer, and now Mauer will go to the mound, and they'll figure it out on the pitcher's mound.
Our first quick trip to the mound by Joe Mauer.
The only thing about this half inning that's been quick. Just one out in the inning. And a couple of runs have already scored for Boston.
Now we're sitting outer half of the plate.
Breaking ball, tap foul.
He tried the slider.
Struck out on 4 pitches in the first inning at bat, and now in his second inning at bat. He's seen 6 and will get a 7th. Ooh. And that one gets by Mauer. The third one to the backstop. A run will score on a walk, and it's 3-0. Another wild pitch, and it's been a rough inning here for Jason Marquis.
Yeah, 3 wild pitches so far in this ball game for Marquis. Trying to keep that ball down, but that ball getting away from Joe. Tried to backhand that rather than maybe trying to get his body in front of it. All the way back to the backstop.
And Rick Anderson and Mauer both going to the mound. And Manship has had plenty of time to warm up. Twins open the regular season in Baltimore and then come home for the opening homestand after a 3-game series against the Orioles. And this year Fox Sports North is going to televise 150 games. I'm hoping to be there for all of them, and you're
I'm doing 2/3 of them.
2/3 of them.
Yeah,
That'd be
like
right
California
around 100.
map.
Right around 100.
Very good. Very good.
Ron Coomer, Roy Smalley, and Tom Kelly will be filling in for Burke when he gets his well-deserved time off. And Sweeney takes a strike on the outside corner.
Good changeup right there.
And we've seen Marquis do that. He's missed with that changeup a few times in some key spots. But again, that's the point of all this, is to get out there and develop command in those pitches.
See, I liked working on certain pitches, but I wanted to get the guy out. I didn't want to throw 50 pitches in 2 innings.
Just outside 1-1.
Well, Marquis really hasn't been on the mound since middle of August of last year. He was pitching a game for the Arizona Diamondbacks when he got hit by a line drive back up the middle and broke his leg. Started the season with the Washington Nationals, then got traded over to Arizona. Made only 3 starts for the Diamondbacks.
Runner goes, and the pitch hack foul.
So Ramsey Carotley coming into the booth. Our traveling secretary, probably wanting to know our plans this year.
I don't have any yet. You do. You're going back and forth. You're going to be flying all over the country, aren't you? Taking time off.
Ramsey takes good care of all of us.
Yes, he does.
Make sure the buses are there. Make sure the plane lands on time.
1-2 to Ryan Sweeney. Scalded. Nice pickup by Morneau. And the throw hits the runner in the back. A run will score, and the ball rolls into short left field. A wicked smash, and Morneau got the out at first, but his throw hit Iglesias in the back near second base.
Well, what a great play right there by Justin. And you're holding the runner on, you jump off the bag, and this ball off the bat of Sweeney was hit sharply. But Justin on that short hop tags the bag for the second out, and then his throw ends up hitting the runner right in the buttocks and getting away into left field.
So it could have ended the inning. It did not, and that means Manship will get a chance to clean up here in the second inning with Marquis checking out with some control issues, a couple of errors behind him, and so far 4 runs on the board for the Boston Red Sox. early in March. Everything is not put under the microscope, but time for instruction between the pitching coach and Jason Marquis.
Well, you can see Rick Anderson right there talking about the angle about the pitch. He threw a lot of pitches below, I mean, just on the other side of home plate. So I'm sure Marquis, in his Twins debut, not real happy here in spring training. Just make him work harder and get on that right frame of mind, a positive thought. Jeff Manship coming into the ball game, a guy that's been up and down with the Twins for years, and he's looking for one of these spots in that in the bullpen, maybe as a long man.
Manship made the team out of spring training last year, but just pitched in 5 games, and then he had some shoulder problems and some back problems. 1 strike to Kevin Youkilis. 8th man to bat here in the 2nd inning. Lifted to right field. And Josh Willingham toward the line. Makes the catch, ends the inning. It was a long one and a good one for Boston. Just 3 hits for the Red Sox with 4 runs. Nothing Boston. Now, when you were a player, you paced yourself early in spring training. You're a broadcaster. No such thing. Man,
no.
we're jumping right into a day game after a night game.
How about that, huh?
What were they thinking?
I'm looking forward to going over to Port Charlotte tomorrow.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, I didn't have it written in my contract. I guess you didn't either. We'll both be there at noon tomorrow.
Yeah, and then the Yankees come here
Sunday.
Next
right?
Sunday, yeah.
Then we go to Lakeland later on. That's I'm going to Lakeland. I guess you got that written into your contract. Yeah. You're not going to Lakeland.
Yeah, I'm not allowed in Lakeland.
It goes back to 1972, doesn't it? Here's Justin Morneau. It's been, as he told me today, so far so good for Justin. He's he played 6 innings here on Saturday. He's gone through everything as you would hope he would, and has felt fine so far. 1-0. Bounced foul.
You know, little I know about concussions, I think, Dick, but what we've learned is that the focus. Talking to Bernard Span during the winter caravan about what a concussion does, but it's the focus. Look at that play that he made off the bat of Ryan Sweeney. That takes a lot of concentration right there, and what he's doing right here in the batter's box, trying to pick up that ball off of the hand of Clay Buchholz and then react to it quickly. That's the things that Justin was fighting.
That word you used, react, I think baseball, certainly it's a game of strength. It's a game of speed, but it's a game of reaction. Whether you're pitching on the mound, you're catching, you're playing first base, or you've got a split second as to whether to decide to swing on this pitch or not. And Morneau lines it foul off the tarp.
You know, I always thought that one of the hardest things of any sport is to hit a round ball with a round bat and hit it solid. And good swing right there by Justin, going down but lining it foul.
2-2 to Morneau leading off the second inning. Willingham and Domit will follow. Pitch sailing up and away, and Morneau flips it foul. Morneau limited to 264 at bats. He had an assortment of other physical issues last year. But again, so far, so good. Little roller to second, and an easy play for Punto. One down.
Yeah, Buchholz took a little off right there, and Justin a little out front, but a good at bat for Justin.
One gone. That'll bring up Josh Willingham. Willingham's first with the Twins, his first year with the Twins. Spent last year with the Oakland A's, hit for some power, drove in 98 runs for a team that didn't score a lot of runs.
Yeah, career high 29 home runs with the 98 RBIs.
Asked him today what exposure he had to Minnesota, Minnesotans, and he said he played in the Northwoods League when he was in college. Came up and played in Minnesota and Austin. The mini bats or whatever the team was, they're not around anymore. But he played in Austin, Minnesota for a number of years.
Played his college ball out of the University of North Alabama. Makes his home in Alabama.
Fastball down the middle, and it's 1-2.
Guy that has some power. 132 major league home runs. He came up with the Marlins, spent time with the Nationals, and then last season with the Oakland A's.
Asked him what his impressions were of Target Field, and he said it was beautiful and big. And he'll try to beat the dimensions at Target Field about 30 times this year. He might have gotten hit by the pitch there, brushed his jersey, so he'll reach first base and get Domit to the plate.
Well, Kelly Shofik really sat inside, and Buchholz tried to get that ball in. Or we'll see where Shofik's sitting. Put the ball a little bit inside. Just got the maybe his jersey right there.
And so another guy with some pop in his bat, switch hitter Ryan Domit, who might be a backup catcher for the Twins, but he can also, as we have seen here today, be assigned to the outfield, coming out of the Pittsburgh organization. You know, one thing the Twins have had in the Mauer era is a backup catcher who was considered a defensive catcher, whether it was Mike Redmond, Drew Butera. Certainly the Twins ended up losing a lot offensively when Joe was not behind the plate. If Domit sticks as a backup, maybe not the only backup, but a backup, the drop off offensively won't be as severe.
Yeah, he's had some injuries over his career. He ended up breaking his ankle last year for the Pittsburgh Pirates, his left ankle. But this guy can flat out hit. A switch hitter, good power from both sides of the plate. Played in 77 ball games last year and hit the .303.
1-1 to Domit. Swing and a miss. You might be able, just in looking at Domit's numbers at the end of the year and where his at-bats came from, if the bulk of his at-bats come out of the DH spot, that probably means the Twins had a pretty successful season, because that will necessarily mean that Mauer did the bulk of the catching, or so it would figure, and Morneau was at first base for most of the season.
Let's hope that happens.
And that the outfield kind of stabilizes too, with Span and Willingham and whomever out there, Plouffe, Revere, whoever it might be. 2-2. We have had a lot of walks, 2 of them issued by Buchholz, 3 of them by Marquis. We've had wild pitches, and we have had a snail's pace going on so far here tonight. And another 3-ball count. My goodness, with the exception. See, Mornow's count, I believe, when he hit the ground ball to second, it was 2-2. But I think
Buchholz called off a couple pitches too.
Buchholz has had a 3-ball count with everybody he's faced. Luke Hughes on deck. And Doma draws a walk. Well, Buchholz got away with his control issues in the first inning by getting Nishioka to pop up on a 3-1 pitch and getting Mauer to bounce into a double play on a 3-1 pitch. Now a pair of 1-out walks gets Hughes to the plate with 2 men aboard. And it's good to see Hughes in the lineup at a time when you really want to be healthy. At the very beginning of spring training, Hughes had a shoulder issue.
Yeah, I saw him before the ball game. He said he's fine. He's ready to get some good quality at bats, make the ball club.
Hughes is the designated hitter. Hughes injured his shoulder in Australia in a home plate collision. And strike 1, and Hughes hoping to win a job as a utility player. One strike to Hughes. I heard a yawn in the booth. Did you hear that? Someone in the booth here has been yawning.
It's our cameraman. Certainly was not us.
No. One strike to Luke Hughes. Speed pitch gets a swing and a miss. We welcome you wherever you might be watching to Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers, Florida. Game 4 of Grapefruit League action for the Twins, along with Bert Blylev and Dick Bramer with you. 2 strikes to Hughes. And inside, 1-2. Hughes with some pop in his bat. Will need to hit for a higher average. Twins figure to have Jamie Carroll at short on a regular basis, and Alexi Casilla at second. Came inside, got a swinging miss, and they're 2 down now for Brian Dozier. When you join the Twins season ticket family this year, you'll be hitting the sweet spot. Purchase any of the Twins season ticket packages, and you receive sweet spot benefits that are second to none in pro sports. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. Check out the options and learn about the cool benefits that come along with Twins season tickets. And Brian Dozier, who hopes to emerge out of this spring training as a promising middle infielder for years to come with the Twins. Now it is up for debate as to what his best position will be. Last year he played well at second. He played well at short. He gets the start here tonight at short.
Yeah, Twins minor league player of the year last year.
1 strike. A high fastball and fouled it back. 2 strikes. You can see his Double-A numbers. He saw teammates Joe Benson and Chris Parmalee make their debuts last year, and Some in the organization think that in 2012, Brian Dozier will make his major league debut. 2 strikes to Dozier. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, and Buchholz carves him up and strands a couple of runners in the second. Minnesotans down here in Florida enjoying the concessions at Hammond Stadium. They got a thing here called the Richard Simmons platter. There's Jeff Manship, and you see numbers he put together last year.
Really? Did you get it?
No, but my son Eric did. Now here's what it is. Here's what it is. Okay, Richard Simmons, a fitness guru and all that, right? Okay.
Have you seen him recently?
I have not. Okay. All right. But the Richard Simmons thing, whatever it is, platter or whatever, it's a cheeseburger with a bratwurst. Ooh. A grilled chicken fillet covered with bacon.
I guess that just gets him more clients in the future.
I'm not a cardiologist, but I gotta believe. My goodness, that's a healthy dose of cholesterol there. Swing and a miss by Ortiz, or foul tip rather, 1 strike. Now any of those things
sounds pretty good.
Any of those things individually sound really good.
I think all 3 of them sounded pretty good with a Coors Light. Oh my goodness.
That's just fries there. That's nothing wrong with that. 1 strike to David Ortiz, who was called out on strikes to wrap up the first inning, and now Manship misses outside. Jobs are available in the Twins bullpen, and Manship would like to have a good spring and improve his candidacy to maybe win one of those jobs. That's hit a long way to right center field. Willingham back, and it's gone. A home run. So Ortiz cranks one out to make it 5-0.
Ortiz so strong. That pitch left up right there, and 378 times at the major league level Ortiz has done that. So this year looking for career home run number 400. A career that started with the Twins back in 1997. Kept his hands back. It looked like it was even off the end of the bat, but big David Ortiz, so strong.
Not necessarily.
I hate that sound.
I was just going to say, I missed that sound. Not off the Boston Red Sox bat, but player's bat. But I do miss that sound in the wintertime. Ortiz making it a 5-0 ball game. 1-0 now to Darnell McDonald. But what has your winter been like? What you play golf and
I play golf about 3-4 days a week, and became a grandfather twice.
Okay.
Over. That's number 7 and 8 in the Blyleven family. So very happy to have 2 more new grandsons. So it makes it 5-3 now.
Lifted to center, harmlessly towards Span.
Girls still outnumber my grandsons, but my son Tim had. You'll like this name, Dick. He came into the world at 10 pounds 5 ounces, and my son Tim named his son Bear, B-E-A-R, like a bear.
Really?
And he's got a good chance. My son is 6'7", so he's got a good chance to be a bear. Their next child, they're going to name it Hawk. And then my stepson Royal and his wife Jackie had a little baby Royal. Came in at 7'11". So
2-hopper to second.
And how about yourself? Any grandchildren on your side?
No, nothing like that at all. Just some hunting and ice fishing and all that. As the boys prepare for the upcoming season, it's a good time to prepare for a group outing at Target Field. This year, you can organize your business, church, school, or maybe 24 of your close pals. Make a game of it. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. Check out the options and learn about the benefits that group organizers receive in 2012.
Now, you said some ice fishing.
Oh, yeah.
But the weather has been kind of warm up there. You still went ice fishing.
Well, I walk. I don't drive a vehicle on the ice, or at least I didn't this year. I walk out and did okay this year. 1-0.
And you got your deer?
Well, my son Eric shot his and mine this year, so yeah, I'm being replaced. I'm being replaced on a lot of fronts. Shopik, the hitter, taking a breaking pitch in the dirt, 1-0. But very much looking forward to the start of the season, and I can't wait to get it going here.
I don't know if we've mentioned yet, but there are 67 players that are wearing Twins uniforms. So
it's a lot.
That's a lot of players. A lot of coaching.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
33 pitchers.
There'll be some cuts here in the next several days. Terry Ryan, the general manager, saying he wants to wait until the minor league camp gets going, up and running, and they're busy with activities over there to give the players who will be sent out a place to go to keep the blood flowing a little bit. Minor league camp opens on Thursday. On the outside corner, Manship shaves the corner. Gives up a long home run to David Ortiz. It's 5-0 Boston.
One of many right here. You Minnesota Twin fans, you are hereby circled.
And they'll be interested in the high school hockey tournament this weekend, and on Fox Sports North Prep Zone, presented by Wells Fargo. You get a preview of the hockey tournament, and you'll get the story of this iconic basketball coach walking away after decades of excellence, and the Prep Zone's Hockey Player of the Year. Fox Sports North Prep Zone tomorrow at 6:30, only on Fox Sports North. Well, the Red Sox are hoping to get lucky with Vicente Padilla, as as he hopes to fill out a spot in the back end of the Boston rotation.
Carlos Silva also, you know, an invitee, as Padilla is for the Boston Red Sox. Padilla, last 3 years with the LA Dodgers. He's spent a lot of time at the major league level, starting back in 1999.
And he will face Michael Holloman leading off the third inning. Fastball down the middle, a strike. Holloman getting a chance to play at third base. Of course, Danny Valencia will be there most of the year. Nothing wrong with Valencia. He out of the starting lineup, not playing tonight, but he worked late this afternoon, almost till game time, taking ground balls at third base with Tom Kelly over on field 5 and working on his fundamentals at third base. Up and away, 2-1.
Yeah, Mike Holloman, he came over a couple years ago, signed with the Twins as a free agent. Has some major league time, and they have to go back to 2008 when he came up with the Tigers. He played in 11 ball games, hit a home run, drove in a couple runs.
Foul back. The last thing the Twins want, of course, is to go through a year like last year where so many regular players were injured. But nevertheless, you need to develop depth behind the Valencias of the world. In case something were to happen, you need to have somebody who can step up and play the position. And that was one of the shortcomings last year. Players went out, less so for Denard Span. Ben Revere did a representative job.
Yes, he did.
In the outfield in Span's absence. 2-2 to Holloman starting the third inning. And he takes a call, third strike.
That looked like a little cutter right there and kind of froze Holloman. And Padilla comes in and picks up a strikeout. Take a look at a pitch right here. Might have been a split finger. Just kind of hung there.
So you've had veterans Buchholz and now Padilla cut through the bottom third of the Twins batting order, getting 3 strikeouts of far less experienced players like Luke Hughes, Brian Dozier, and Michael Holloman. Back to the top of the order now, and Denard Span.
Big slow curveball, just missing.
55 miles per hour, and it's ball 1. Did you ever throw one that slow?
No. I'd be afraid to.
There's a fastball that clips the corner.
Fastball at 93.
Knee high on the outside corner.
Now Padilla, 104 major league wins, 90 losses. He started 237 major league games.
Foul back. In the middle of the 2009 season, he was, shall we say, excused by the Texas Rangers. They owed him a lot of money. They decided to pay him off. And he was picked up by the Dodgers and actually pitched pretty well for them. Went 4-0. 7 starts.
Yeah, spent a lot of time on a disabled list last year.
1-2 to Span. He fell behind 0-2 and worked out a first inning walk. And now 2-2. Twins don't have a hit yet. They did take 3 walks against Clay Buchholz. Lifted to left. And Kroger makes the catch out, number 2. And that'll bring up Tsuyoshi Nishioka. So 2 gone in the third. Nishioka on a 3-1 pitch hit a pop-up to David Ortiz his first time up. Inside, ball 1. Nishioka signing a 3-year deal with the Twins before last year. And a called strike 1-1. And we mentioned before that Boston manager Bobby Valentine was his manager for a few years in Japan. I was interested to hear Valentine's comments. He said he had Nishioka. Here's a little pop fly short right field. In fact, the second baseman will make the catch in the inning. Nishioka at times was the worst player in the league and the best player in the league, and that was in the same season. Game 4 of the Twins Grapefruit League schedule, and the Red Sox have a 5-0 lead. Dick Bramer, Burt Blyleven, joined by the president of the Minnesota Twins, Dave St. Peter. Beautiful night for baseball, and you have a night like this, you can't wait to get back to Target Field.
Oh, you're right about that, Dick and Burt. Welcome back. Another fun season of Twins baseball, and you're right, beautiful night here in Hammond Stadium, and the weather down here has been sensational all winter, Burt. You know that, and we're looking forward to another great 5 weeks down here before opening night, opening day in Minnesota, 5 weeks from today.
When you look around, you see so many Twin fans here. What a great ballpark.
Yeah, you know, we weren't really sure what was going to happen with our attendance with the Red Sox new JetBlue facility now being down in South Fort Myers, but we're well north of 100,000 seats sold for the season, and we're really excited that the fact that I think sellouts will once again be the norm here at Hammond Stadium.
You know, their new ballpark, I drive by it every day. I'm staying out in that general direction, and about 10 minutes east of here. What, if anything, does the construction of that new ballpark mean for the Twins and their facility here?
Well, I think it certainly establishes a new precedent within Lee County, and I think that, you know, in and of itself has motivated the county and the Twins to have, frankly, a lot of discussions about the future of this complex. You both know in 1991 when this complex opened, it was considered by most around baseball to be the model facility, and many of the new complexes in Florida and in Arizona have been modeled after the Lee County Sports Complex. So we now have the task to work with the county to make sure that it continues to be a state-of-the-art facility for the next 20, 25 years, and that's the discussions that we're having right now with the county.
Now, I've read that they're talking maybe about some added seats here.
Here's Holloman on the warning track, catching Punto's foul ball, 1 out.
Yeah, Bert, you know, certainly fan amenities is going to be a big part of it. I don't know that we want a lot of extra seats because for all the seats you have to add parking, and we're going to be somewhat limited there. But we do think there are some fan amenities. We look at the outfield, foul pole to foul pole. There are some opportunities, we think, to do some things there to allow fans to maybe move 360 degrees around this ballpark, much like they do at Target Field. Food and beverage opportunities, some different things around merchandise and retail. And then, of course, there's a huge focus on player development. You know, what can we do to make sure that this continues to be a competitive advantage for our ball club at the major league level as well as the minor league level.
Now, one thing, Dave, I know that there are 3 main fields in the minor league complex. Of course, they have one here that's adjacent to the ballpark here where they call Field 5, but the county has done a good job of purchasing some property to maybe add another field or 2 for the minor leaguers.
Yeah, we have more than 200 guys in camp. So, frankly, this year we're actually using some of the fields over at City of Palms, which is of course the complex the Red Sox have vacated to move to JetBlue. We'd like another practice field. That's a big priority for us, as well as obviously just all of those modern amenities around training and hydrotherapy and those things that I think have been pretty standard now across Major League Baseball.
Well, I know over at Jet Park, that's what they're talking about. Their training facility, a weight room, something that, back when this ballpark was built, weights weren't as
well, and we
prevalent
added
in baseball.
And as you know, we added a major weight room that now both our Major League and minor league group share. But, I think we'd like to ultimately see more of that and perhaps have a separate room for the Major League guys versus what goes on at the minor leagues.
Liam Hendricks, a Twins pitcher, former Twin Jason Repko in the box, 2-2, the count, 1 down. Dick Bramer, Burt Blyleven, joined by the president of the Minnesota Twins, Dave St. Peter. Hendricks made his major league debut in 2011. And now 3-2. Well, David, we mentioned right off the top the regular season opener is a month from tomorrow in Baltimore, and then 3 games at Camden Yards, and then the first homestand. Albert Pujols and the Angels opening up the season this year.
Yeah.
Ball third strike, 2 down.
Obviously, if you look at our schedule early, it's not easy. We're going to see a lot of good teams, and I think that's good. We'll sneak up on some people, I'm sure, and obviously we're excited to have the 3rd year at Target Field, April 9th, the home opener, and who better? Let's jump into the deep end of the pool against Mr. Pujols.
And then the Rangers, the World Series representative from the American League the last 2 years.
Exactly, and of course the Red Sox come in April as well, and it's going to be exciting.
And that ball dies in the grass, and Iglesias gets a bunt single. He popped it up, but Holloman was playing back halfway on the infield dirt and had no chance to catch it on the fly. A 2-out single.
Well, as you know, Dave, it all comes down to good pitching. And, the Twins have to get off to good pitching at the beginning of the game. Iglesias showing off his speed right here. Good bunt.
How about that double play he turned? That was an impressive turn, I thought, as well. That kid can really play defense.
Yeah, only 22 years old, a guy that defected from Cuba. But, when you have a guy like, say, Dustin Pedroia that you work out with, and, He's one of these guys that has a baton that's going to pass it on to these young kids right here. You need those veterans to do that.
Ryan Sweeney takes ball 1. Sweeney so far a bouncer to short. And he hit a smash that Morneau was able to spear and turn into an out. Morneau, his throw to second base hit the runner, and another run scored. The Red Sox scored 4 runs in the second. Ortiz hit a home run in the third to make it a 5-0 game. Well, Dave, we talked about the temperature tomorrow. I believe in the Twin Cities supposed to be in the low to mid 50s, and I know Larry DeVito's probably relishing days like that to get out on the field and get the Target Field ready for the open.
Where do I sign up to get 50 degrees on opening day on April 9th? I'd take that right now. But and we've had a few of those days this winter up in Minnesota. No, we're feeling really good about our playing field. It's it's in sensational shape. We really haven't had to turn the playing field, the heating system below the field on all winter because it just hasn't been that cold. So
outside, a delayed steal and a stolen base for Iglesias. He hesitated, took off, and then Mauer's throw was high, and it's a 2-out steal of second for the shortstop.
Yeah, Dozier a little late getting over there. Joe Mauer, and then takes off and makes a throw just high. So Iglesias, second stolen base for the Red Sox in a ball game.
2-0 to Sweeney. And now down and in 3-0. Youkilis on deck.
Dave, how are the ticket sales at Target Field?
They're good, Bert. I think the ballpark experience speaks for itself. Clearly, we were disappointed what happened on the field last year, so we weren't really fully certain what to expect, but we renewed at 85% on our season tickets, and we're going to end up at probably about 23,500 full season equivalents, which
great.
will put us in the top 6 or 7 of all Major League Baseball. And as of this morning, we've sold more than 2.3 million tickets for the 2012 season. So we're really excited and very thankful. Our fan base really has emerged, in my opinion, as one of the better baseball fan bases around the league.
Now, I know, after the first year at Target Field, there were some changes made to Target Field, like the batter's eye. Players, I know they wanted the fences in, but is there anything that, say, after the second year that the Twins have improved on Target Field?
Well, nothing really around playability. You're not going to see the fences. The pitchers also wanted the fences moved out, Bert, so let's be honest in full disclosure. But, some of the changes we made this year are more subtle. They're around things more back of the house. We're always working to improve the food and beverage operation there, both from a service perspective as well as many new items. So it's been another fun winter of taste testing, and I'm excited to report we're going to have a host of new items to announce here at the end of the month that I think will continue to make Target Field probably the best place to eat around Major League Baseball.
I'll tell you what, it's already a great place to eat.
Well, we talked about that Richard Simmons platter that they have here. Now,
Yeah,
have you heard about that? But they got a thing here. It's a cheeseburger, a grilled chicken sandwich, a bratwurst, and bacon, all in one bun.
Oh, my. I don't know about that.
3-2. Hendricks trying to pitch out of a terrible situation here in the fourth inning. Deep fly to right.
No, he's okay.
Willingham with the catch. Our thanks to the Twins president Dave St. Peter for stopping by. It's 5-0 Boston. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. By Sanford Health. And by Window Concepts of Minnesota. Twins down 5, but Mauer, Morneau, and Willingham will hit against Padilla here in the Twins' half of the fourth inning.
Padilla starting his second inning. There's that big, slow curveball. This time he got it over for strike one.
Backed it off to 53 miles per hour that time. We saw Livan Hernandez. We mentioned him before. He had that very slow breaking ball he would throw at times. 1 strike to Mauer. On a fastball down and in the low 90s. 1-1. Mauer bounced into a double play to wrap up the first inning. Fouled off his front leg, and it's 1-2.
So he saw the big slow curveball, then fastball down, then Padilla kind of cut a little fastball in on him. Joe ends up jamming himself.
1-2 to the Twins catcher. And classic Mauer fashion, a sharp single to left, a leadoff hit here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, first hit for the Twins. Padilla tried to sneak that fastball by him, and Joe, very quick hands, just slapping the ball the other way.
So Mauer aboard to start the 4th, and that'll bring up Justin Morneau. Morneau hit a ground ball to second in the 2nd inning. Beyond Mauer and Morneau's presence in the middle of the lineup, there needs to be a power presence in the middle of the lineup. The Twins need Mauer playing, but they also need him hitting more home runs. They need Morneau hitting more home runs, and that's why Willingham was brought aboard.
Again, Willingham, 29 home runs. Hopefully he can create some of that power.
Outside, 1-1.
These guys are going to get on base. I mean, Mauer's going to get on. He's a career 300 hitter, 3-time batting champ. This guy, former MVP, he stays healthy. He's going to get on base. He's going to hit some long balls. But you need someone behind Justin to protect Justin, so pitchers don't say, well, I'm going to, pitch around this guy to get the next guy out.
Lifted foul over the Twins dugout, 1-2.
Just lineups complementing each other.
Mauer got a single after falling behind 1-2. We'll see what Morneau can get done here. Another pop-up that'll reach the seats. So far, the only lingering issue for Justin involved the wrist that he had surgery on last year. He still has some numbness on his pinky finger. Shopik sets up inside, and Morneau cracks his bat and pulls it foul. So they got it in there enough to crack his bat.
Oh, he went in with that slider right there, not the fastball, the breaking ball, and Justin hit it foul. The Yankees tried it last year when they brought in Garcia and Colon. With Boston losing Lackey and probably Dice K, they're giving guys like Padilla, also Carlos Silva, an opportunity, maybe be that 4th or 5th starter. Guys that are out of basically their careers, they have to step up again and see if they can again compete at this level.
Down the middle of strike, and Morneau frozen with a fastball, 1 down.
Well, remember the previous pitch, he went in with that little cutter. This time he goes back in with a fastball and freezes Justin. Ball coming back over the plate, clipping the inner half of the plate. So Padilla picks up his 2nd strikeout in his 2nd inning of relief.
And now Willingham drew a walk in the 2nd inning. Actually was hit by a pitch. And a fastball on the outside corner. Willingham, some would say, replacing Michael Kadire in the Twins lineup, but he's taken Jason Kubel's number.
Yeah, you know what I think about Willingham when he does, and when the home runs he hit in Oakland, also at Target Field, are down the line. And, that's the place that the Twins feel that Willingham, that's where his power is. He's a pull hitter that has power down the line.
It's hanging up in left field, and a diving attempt, but no catch made by the left fielder, Kroger. So 1st and 2nd now, 1 away for Ryan Doman.
Well, good effort right here by Kroger. That ball kind of a jam shot right here, but Willingham hitting it out there, And a little bit of a line drive. Kroger comes in like he had it in his glove, just kind of trickled away. Hit the top of his glove. Good effort.
Doumit walked his first time up. Twins trying to get back in the game with one swing of the bat. Doumit, as we mentioned before, a switch hitter. Inside, ball one. Doumit's played some at first base. 35 games. He's been in the outfield, but the bulk of his time has been spent behind the plate. In the American League now, he will, as we said, get a chance to DH some, perhaps a lot. Career high 15 home runs with the Pirates in 2008 when he hit .318 in 431 at bats. Couple of men aboard. Good time for Doumit to hit one out by the pine trees in right field. Up and away, and it's 2-0.
That high? That high pine tree? Or palm tree?
2-0 to the Twins left fielder. Tapped foul. .218 at bats for the Pirates last year. 21 extra base hits. That's a number I always look at.
There's pine.
There's
right
a Florida
there. Let's
pine
show
tree.
A palm.
And there's a Florida palm tree. 2-1. That's a number I like to look at when you're talking about a player's career or their season. One extra base hit per 10 at bats is a nice figure for a player to have, and Doumit did that in limited duty with the Pirates last year. Three and one. Twins threatening to get their first run here in the fourth inning. Bounced foul wide of the bag and David Ortiz. Padilla wants a different baseball. Twins facing the Red Sox. And as Dave St. Peter said, Red Sox will come to Target Field in late April. Padilla drops the baseball, but didn't have his foot on the rubber yet, so no balk called. And Doumit stands in. Another 3-2 pitch coming. Line into center field. Mauer will go to third, and he'll be held there. The bases are loaded. So a good at bat for Doumit. He crunched it and lined it past Punto into center. And now the Twins have the bases loaded with one down.
Yeah, Mauer had to hold up at second base because Nick Punto went for that ball, and it just got over his glove. Doumit going out, getting a pitch outer half of the plate, but lining it back up the middle. Now watch Punto right there. That's why you have to hold up. Once that ball got through, then Joe takes off, but he was stopped at third by Steve Little.
Twins had a one-out threat going in the second inning, but then Buchholz struck out Hughes and Dozier, and those are the next two batters scheduled to face Padilla here with the bases loaded and one out. Hughes went down swinging for out number 2. Dozier went down swinging to wrap up the threat. Fastball up and away. There's Dozier on deck. A belt high strike, 1-1. Bases full of Twins. Their first 3 hits of the night have come here in the 4th inning. Popped up in foul ground. Ortiz tracking it. Out number 2. And Dozier will have another chance, this time with the bases loaded. Buchholz took care of him on 3 pitches. Dropped a curveball. The last pitch Buchholz would throw here tonight. Dropped a curveball on the outside corner to strike him out in the second.
And that was a good curveball too, and I think that's the only curveball that Buchholz threw his 2 innings worth of work. He's got a good curveball, but he was working on changeup, fastball.
Up high, ball 1. So again, under the premise that Dozier will someday be a regular player for the Twins, a little extra interest in this at bat, how he will bounce back from a very disappointing at bat against a veteran pitcher in the second inning. Up high. Oh, I beg your pardon. A called strike, 1-1.
Belt high. See Shopik holding it.
Letter high.
Oh, letter high. First one I thought was belt. That's letter.
1-1 to Brian Dozier. And now outside, 2-1. Padilla, the second Boston pitcher. He had a 1-2-3 third and has run into trouble here in the 4th. Mauer, Willingham, and Doman have all singled here against Padilla. Just off the plate, and it's 3-1.
Dozier should get a good pitch to hit right here. Ball just outer half of the plate. Shopik trying to hold it. Cheetah saying it's outside.
Three and 1 to the Twins shortstop. Tapper to third. And Youkilis slings it across. Close play. I tell you what, Dozier almost beat that out. But the Twins leave the bases full in the 4th inning, and it's still 5-0 Boston. Captiva. You can enjoy an atmosphere. It's a little quieter, a little less hurried, and a lot less like the rest of the world. Visit FortMyerSanibel.com. Now, so many Minnesotans come down here to watch baseball. That's the focus of their trip, but there's not a game here every day. So a lot of other activities, so many great waterways. We're happy to have Paul McCarthy, owner of McCarthy's Marina and Captiva Cruises. I would imagine you've been, with the weather being so nice, pretty busy this year.
It's been a fantastic season this year, really. We couldn't have asked for a better season. Beautiful boating weather, beautiful baseball weather.
Well, Paul, tell us a little bit about, you told me earlier, you have 5 boats, and what do you do?
Well, you can get out to Sanibel and Captiva by automobile, and then beyond Sanibel and Captiva islands you can only get to by boat. And we travel out to about 4 of the different islands, and we have different boats that take you there. And each of those island destinations has its own special appeal or attraction.
And where are you located?
We're on Captiva Island. We have 2 docking facilities on Captiva. One is at the South Seas Island Resort.
Are you near the bubble room at all?
My marina is exactly beside the bubble room.
Is that right?
Yeah, the bubble room is my next
Dick,
door
you've
neighbor.
been at a bubble room.
I've been to the bubble room. Yes, I have.
Yes.
Nice, legendary restaurant out on the
it's
Captiva.
fun. And the Mucky Duck is at the end of the street. So
Yes.
Captiva,
You've been there too, haven't you?
Captiva is a great place to go. And if you're out in Captiva, you have to go for a boat ride with Captiva Cruises.
Now, what are some of the islands that you, if you take a boat cruise, where will you go?
We go to Cabbage Key, which is kind of a
Okay.
Jimmy Buffett cheeseburger in paradise kind of place, which is very, very fun. Usupa Island was a millionaire's fishing club in the early 1900s, and it's still a private club today, a fantastic destination. We go to Cayo Costa, which is a state park wilderness island, which is fantastic for shelling and going to the beach. We go out to Gasparilla Island, to Boca Grande, which is a beautiful little town. We do a trip over to Pine Island, which is across Pine Island Sound from us, and we do a whole program over there. So we travel to a bunch of different islands, and we do sightseeing, dolphin cruises, sunset cruises, sailing cruises.
Towering pop-up, short left field. Dozier out in the outfield grass. And he'll call and make the catch. Now, how big a group or how small a group can you accommodate with your boats?
Well, we have regularly scheduled cruises, so one person can buy a ticket, or a family of however many can buy a ticket and just go on any of the cruises. We also do private expeditions, so if someone wants to rent the boat for a wedding or for a family
Anniversary, birthday parties.
There you go. We do the whole thing. It's a great way to celebrate any kind of an event. We have a website, CaptivaCruises.com, and people can kind of check it out.
David Ortiz called out on strikes and then a home run over the fence in right to make it a 5-0 game.
What's the average cost of, say, if I went by myself?
You do a lot of that. You do a lot of things. Right?
I do.
Well, you could bring some friends, but
I have none.
Oh, I'd go with you.
That's deep to left center.
Oh, man.
Domit going back. Oof. And it's off the wall. Both the ball and Domit are off the wall, and Ortiz glides into second with a double. A booming blast to left center field.
We saw David Ortiz in his last at-bat, pull that ball over the right field fence.
You can see it's Trevor Plouffe out there in left field now. And that's part of the learning process for Plouffe, who just kind of
glided.
Did a circle route out there.
Right. Ortiz, not a bad pitch, but showing his power the other way. And you can see he tried to time it right there rather than going back to the wall, feeling it, and then making the catch. And these are all things that Trevor Plouffe needs to learn.
So a one-out double with Ortiz now out of the game.
So, Paul, you didn't say how much is it going to cost me if I'm by myself and I want to go on one of your charters.
Well, if you came out, it would be comp. But for
the
average public,
it would be
it's $25 to $45 for
okay.
And then children are typically half price. So
we got guys in the truck. When you said comp, they want to go tomorrow.
Sure, no problem.
No, we're going to be in Port Charlotte tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Chopper, foul, 2 strikes.
So do you get off the boat?
Some of our trips go to the islands, and you actually disembark the boat at one of these island destinations.
Yeah.
And if you're going to, for instance, Cayo Costa, you'd get off the boat to do some shelling. Sanibel and Captiva are famous for shelling destinations. If you get off the boat at Cabbage Key, you'd get a cheeseburger in paradise.
Okay.
If you get off the boat in Boca Grande, you spend some time shopping in the town and visiting the Gasparilla Inn.
Any chance to see a lot of wildlife?
Dolphins, excellent. We do, on all of our trips, you're likely to see dolphins jumping right beside the boat. It's one of the big attractions of Sanibel and Captiva Islands. We have maybe 300 resident bottlenose dolphins that live here year-round, and on any of our excursions, you're likely to see the dolphins in the wild jumping beside the boat. It's quite a sight, I'll tell you.
Very nice.
Juan Carlos Linares struck out for the second out of the inning, and here's Josh Kroger. And there's strike one. Kroger on the night, a single and a run scored in the second. Then he bounced to second in the third. Six hits for the Red Sox. A couple of extra base hits for Ortiz. A rough Twins debut for Jason Marquis in a game, of course, that doesn't count. Called strike, two of them now to Kroger.
Okay, Paul, before you leave here, how do, say, the viewers, they come down to Fort Myers, Florida, they want to go on one of your cruises, how do they get hold of you?
Well, first of all, they can go to our website, which is CaptivaCruises.com, C-A-P-T-I-V-A, CaptivaCruises.com. Or they can just call us on the phone. We're here, area code 239-472-5300.
Very good.
Ball, third strike.
Paul, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Pleasure.
Right.
Always great to be with Twins.
It's 5-0 Boston as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. And Michael Holloman will lead things off for the Twins. Denard Spence, Tsuyoshi Nishioka will follow. And of course the Cubs, Phillies, and Brewers, the interleague opponents, going to be coming to Target Field. They'll be tough tickets to come by. But one way of getting your ticket without any problem is joining the Twins season ticket family. 20-game and 40-game packages are still available. And there are different options to suit your schedule. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com to learn about the benefits of being a Twins season ticket holder.
Well, Inman coming into the ball game. Those were his numbers last year in AAA Tucson. That in the San Diego Padre organization, signing with the Boston Red Sox as a minor league free agent over the winter.
Holloman, Span, and Nishioka due up here. We would expect all the regulars to get 3 at-bats. Ooh, wicked shot up the middle, and Holloman drives the first pitch of the inning into center. So the Twins get a leadoff single for the second inning in a row. Had the leadoff man on in 3 of the 5 innings here tonight.
Well, Inman comes in, tries to get ahead with a fastball, but Holloman taking that fastball right back up the middle. 4th hit for the Twins, all singles.
Span drew a walk in the 1st inning, and then on a 3-1 pitch in the 3rd, he chipped a little fly ball to left field. And Span takes ball 1. Span has been in center field and working out there exclusively. Ben Revere, when he has played, has been out in left. Both have an awful lot of speed and a lot of range, but neither has much power.
No, that's not their job. You know, their job is to get on base and score runs. Create havoc on the base paths if they can.
It's a little nubber, and that's going to be a base hit. So Span just kind of hacks the ball up the 3rd baseline for an infield hit. And Span will be lifted for a runner here. Rene Tassoni will sub for him.
Kind of a check swing. That ball had some sink on it, but right off the end of the bat. And the ball kind of hit in no man's land right there. Nothing the 3rd baseman can do except hold on to it. Span with his speed.
So Span with a hit and a walk, reaches twice, comes out of the game. Tassoni replaces him, and here's Nishioka. Nishioka popped to 1st and then popped to 2nd. Ball 1. Want to know to tonight's Twins second baseman.
Well, they called a balk.
A balk will be called, and that'll advance the runners to 2nd and 3rd.
Let's take a look what Inman did right here. He came set.
Yeah, he tried to take
dropped his hands.
Okay. Tried to take his back foot off the rubber and may have done something.
He moved his hands before he put that right foot off the rubber.
And Nishioka slaps a hit to left. It'll score a run. So the Twins, who got 3 singles, didn't score a run in the 4th, open the 5th with 3 hits, and it's 5-1.
Well, Nishioka at his finest right here. Just watch this pitch. Not a bad pitch, but Nishioka just dropping the barrel of the bat and lining it past the 3rd baseman into left field.
The second hit of the inning provided by Denard Span, who came out of the ball game, and now he's nice enough to join us with a headset down by the Twins dugout. We mentioned Denard with regarding Justin Morneau. So far, so good. Physically for you, I'm guessing it's the same as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been feeling good this far. So far, you know, the second game of the spring training, but so far, so good.
You know, we were just talking, Denard, about you and Ben Revere, how you guys get in that lineup, you're going to create some excitement. And Dick mentioned, well, they don't have a lot of power. And then you put that beautiful swing
Who doesn't have any
you
power?
did right there.
Come on.
That you kind of, you know,
that's what they teaching
right
us.
down the 3rd baseline. That was a heck of a hit.
That's what they're teaching us. 2-0. Come out of your shoes, man. Defense won't know what hit them.
What was the offseason like for you in terms of training and getting ready? And I think you also changed your diet a little bit this year too, right?
Yeah, I had to go through a few changes this offseason. Like you said, I changed my diet a little bit. Saw a chiropractor once a week and got some work done in that area. Oh, Joe Mauer with a hit.
Mauer with the 4th straight hit. Dropped the head on that pitch.
That's nice.
Banked a single right, and it's 5-2.
Yeah, but did some chiropractic work and did some yoga this off season. So so far the things that I've done have had me coming into spring training feeling pretty good.
Well, pretty good curveball right there, but Joe just dropping the barrel of the bat and picking up the RBI single. So Joe leads with a couple hits here this evening. You know, Denard, we had a chance to talk a little bit during the winter caravan about your diet and everything you're going through. When does a player that went through what you went through last year, when does it leave your mind? I mean, it's gone.
That's a good question. Every morning I wake up and come to the field. I try not to think about last year. I try not to think about having a concussion. I just try to come every day with the mindset that I'm gonna play hard and play the same way I played before I had the concussion.
Steve Pierce is the hitter hitting in Justin Morneau's spot. Pierce has played some at first base, the outfield, and third base. Another guy who's bounced around a little bit, had some major league experience again out of the Pirate organization.
Hey, Denard, I think a lot of viewers want to know, there was a frustrating year last year, but the defense was not Ron Gardenhire type of defense. Are the players and the coaching staff really, you guys spending a lot of time on that?
Oh, yeah. This is first spring training and probably six big league camps for me that I feel like we've practiced a lot of the small things. Defensively, base running. We spend a lot more time, because we made a lot of mistakes, a lot of small mistakes that we normally don't do. And so far this spring, we've been just working on throwing to the right bases, working on footwork, and just the little things, man. And we know that those small things are going to take us a long way.
Take a look at the check swing and the called strike on Pierce.
Didn't look like he went.
Did he go?
Jeff Kellogg said he did.
Yeah.
Or is that Field and Culbreth over at first? At any rate, it's 2-2.
Come on, Steve.
And now a full count. Denard, you came back and got a couple of at-bats towards the end of the last year. How important were those at-bats, to set you up for your off-season of conditioning and reconfiguring your workout program?
I think they were very key for me. Last year, being out for as long as I was out, I had a lot of doubts.
Bouncer to short, see if they can turn two. They do. 2 down. A runner advances to third. But Pierce wraps into a double play.
Yeah, but I had a lot of doubts, last season, and for me to come back the last week and a half and get some at bats and get some game time before the off season was definitely big for my confidence and all that.
It's got to be a lot of confidence for you too, just walking around the clubhouse and feel like, because I spent some time on a disabled list, you don't feel like you're part of the club, and now you're spring training, and you come to the ballpark with a smile on your face.
Yeah, man. Last year was tough, man. I felt like I wasn't, like you said, I wasn't a part of the team. When the team went on the road, I stayed back, and I just felt, just so disassociated with the team. And so far this spring training, it's just been a thrill to come here every day and be in all the drills and participate in everything and kind of feel like a part of the team again.
And I think that's sometimes overlooked, Dick, that, what Justin went through, what Denard gone through with Joe, it's such a team game. And when you cannot participate, boy, I tell you what, it really hurts.
That's dropped down the right field line and drifts over near the tarp of the warning track.
When you're a little kid like Denard, you dream about playing at the major league level. The last thing you think about is, I'm going to get hurt and I'm not going to participate. But, boy, when you're out here and you're wearing that uniform, you're a kid again.
Yeah, it's no better feeling putting this uniform on and coming out here and doing what we love to do, man. And last year, like you said, being hurt, I think it was the type of injury that I had where I didn't know, when I was going to be feeling better. But to come here this far, come here this spring training and to be feeling good, just been a thrill for me.
Yeah, good for you.
Willingham, the hitter, 2 strikes. Twins getting on the board with a couple of runs, and now high and tight. Willingham was hit by a pitch in the second inning.
So many new players wearing Twins uniforms, Denard, Josh Willingham, one of them. Does it take time to get to know everybody?
Yeah, it does, man. These guys come in here. They've been with some other teams in the past, and they come into spring training trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to figure out our routine, try to figure out the Twins' way, trying to figure out, just our coaching staff and just everything. So, hopefully through the midway point of spring training, everybody starts to get on the same page and gel, and before spring training ends, we're going to the season feeling pretty good.
I talked to Tony Oliva before, and with
in English or Spanish?
Well,
or Spanglish.
I think it was English.
You never know with Tony.
Yeah.
But the importance of just having at-bats in spring training. Last year there was, and you can't put your thumb on one thing, but so many guys were injured last year. To keep you and Justin and Joe get your at-bats, so important in spring training to get ready for the season.
Yeah, it is, man. This is spring training so big for all of us here to see pitches and just to get a feel for the game again. Baseball is a sport where you take off a week or two and you lose everything, and it's about getting back into that routine of playing every day and getting a feel for this game again. So getting at bats, that's part of getting ready for spring training.
Now we're showing Tony Oliva and Rod Carew right there, two guys that I'm sure you pick their brains as much as you can.
Yeah, I try to. Every day I come to the field, I try to get as much information from those guys, because those guys are definitely legends in my book, and Tony should be a Hall of Famer, and
yes.
you already know Rod is a Hall of Famer, but just two good baseball guys.
Trevor Plouffe hitting in Ryan Domit's spot. Willingham lifted for a pinch runner, and Plouffe represents the tying run here. Only one batter's been retired, and that on the double play ball. Plouffe takes low, ball one. Well, Denard, speaking of Rod Carew, I know he's been in camp for a couple of weeks already, and he's spent a lot of time working with you and Ben Revere on bunting. How is that going?
It's going pretty good. Every spring training, we set out to bunt 1,000 times this season, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But the big thing is that we are working at it and thriving to be better bunters and use that as our game, because we both have speed, and we both know that if we can lay down bunts every now and then, it can change the game.
Well, stay with a bunt, because Rod always bunted. I don't think he ever pulled the ball toward first base, where you are one, and I think Ben Revere, same times you'll take the ball with you to first base, where Rod, he'll always lay down that ball down that third baseline.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when you have that weapon of bunting, it brings the whole defense in, and it opens up holes, for when you do swing the bat. So, like you said, we have to be mindful of that and try to do it as much as possible and keep the defense honest.
1-2 to Trevor Plouffe, trying to tie the game with a home run here.
Oh.
Busted bat and a little dribbler. Foul. Just foul. So the at-bat will continue, but with a different stick.
Yeah, that call right there, the home plate umpire's call until the ball goes by the first base bag. And the first baseman came after that ball. Tim Cheetah right there called the ball foul. Take a look right here, right off the end of the bat. Watch the first baseman come in, and where he feels that ball is not the first base umpire's call, it's the home plate umpire's call, and Cheetah called it foul.
First and third, 2 runs in for the Twins. All 7 of their hits have been singles. 3 of them in the 4th inning and 4 of them here in the 5th.
So it'll be a good time for a little gapper right here.
Yeah. Sounds good to me, Bert.
High fastball got him. Denard, we thank you for your time. We wish you nothing but the best. Keep it going.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right. It's 5-2 Boston. Red Sox got the first 5 runs of the game. Twins come back with a couple of them in the bottom of the 5th. Wolves Weekly is your all-access pass to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This week, a spotlight on veteran guard Martell Webster. See how Anthony Tolliver gave back to some local kids. And we'll break down the improved play from Nikola Pekovic. Watch Wolves Weekly tonight, 10 o'clock, only on Fox Sports North. Carlos Gutierrez will come into the ball game. Second appearance of the spring for Gutierrez.
Yeah, Gutierrez, when he's on, good sinking fastball, hard slider, and a changeup.
And as Gutierrez finishes his warm-up tosses, we're happy to have Josh Willingham joining us now from the Twins dugout. Josh, you knew a Twins organization, of course, playing against them over the last few years. What have you learned about them since putting on their uniform?
I would say very organized, number one. You know, everybody's on the same page from starting with Gardy all the way down to, you know, all of us. So I would say that's the number one thing so far.
You know, when you get traded, how long does it take you to say, whoa, I'm with a new ball club. Now I have to, you know a little bit more about Minnesota and you know, feel like you belong. It takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You know, I think developing the relationship is the biggest adjustment because, you know, when you're with a team for a certain amount of time, you know everybody from the owner all the way down to, you know, everybody in the clubhouse assistants. So I think that's the biggest thing is getting to know your teammates, developing relationships with them, and, you know, becoming a team. And I think that's what spring training is for, but that's the biggest thing for me.
Josh, I think a lot of times as a former pitcher, you go from organization. I was traded 5 times. You always have different philosophies as far as maybe my pitching coach on what they're trying to maybe make me do. You know, when a hitter comes over, I mean, you have your way of hitting. You were very successful last year, 29 home runs, drove in almost 100 runs. Joe Vavra, does he have an opportunity to look at some tape and say, hey, you know, and talk to you about it?
Yeah, I think he's had time to look at my when I'm successful as a hitter, and you know, I think at this point in my career, and Joe and I have talked about it, is kind of making me be the best that I can be. You know, we're not trying to make me hit like anybody else. You know, I've been hitting the way that I hit for a long period of time, so it's kind of like, you know, find out what I do good, and I'm working with Joe on how to fine-tune some of those things, and you know, just to allow me to be as successful as possible.
At bats here in spring training, very important to you?
They are, and I think you know, just being on time a little bit, especially early in spring, being on time every now and then is always a good thing, because for me it's usually a pretty good battle, especially early in spring, on you know, just getting comfortable and getting comfortable in the batter's box, and kind of everything working together, and being on time. So you know, that's the biggest thing, and that comes through at bats. You're exactly right.
Gutierrez with another strikeout. He's made an impression here by throwing strikes, something that he had a tough time doing in his first outing this year. So 2 down. Josh, the 29 home runs last year in a ballpark that is Oakland, your home ballpark, considered to be more of a pitcher's ballpark. We had a chance to chat briefly with you before the game, and I guess that's your impression of Target Field as well.
It is. It's a big ballpark. That's no secret. I think that can play to our advantage, though. You know, we have to use that, and our pitchers have to, you know, be able to use that. And of course, our outfield with Denard and you know, a lot of the guys out there have good speed, so we can use that as well. But it is a big ballpark, but it's also a great place to play. It's a very beautiful ballpark.
Popped up right side. Looks like it'll be a good inning for Gutierrez. A couple of strikeouts and a pop out. And we thank Josh Willingham. Good to have you on our side, Josh.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Twins fans with jackets on here. It's turned cool into the evening, and we'll be bringing you 4 more day games, including tomorrow at noon against the Tampa Bay Rays, and then coming up on Sunday the Yankees come here. Some of us are going to Lakeland to do the Tiger game, and then the Rays back here on March 26th.
I wanted to go to Lakeland.
Joker Marchand Stadium.
My attorney told me not to.
You always have listened to your attorneys
Yes,
over
I
there.
have.
Luke Hughes will lead things off, takes an off-speed pitch over for strike one. Hey, we want to pass along our sympathies to the family and many friends of former Twin Don Mincher, who passed away Sunday evening. Don was a part of the '65 American League champion Minnesota Twins, really bailed the Twins out when Harmon Killebrew got hurt in the middle of that season. Did a great job at first base, hit a home run in his first World Series at bat. And then you said you saw him play.
When I grew up in Southern California, I still haven't grown up. When I was out in Southern California during my high school days, Don Mincher was part of the Angel organization.
Twins traded him over there for Dean Chance, who had some good years with the Twins. And then Mincher was part of the '69 Seattle Pilots. Ended up getting a World Series ring in the early '70s with the A's, and he passed away after an illness Sunday night.
73 years old. So our condolences go out to the Mincher family.
Inside, missing the Hughes.
You know, about
again.
2 weeks ago, I went over to the East Coast and went to Gary Carter's funeral. Gary Carter passed away at age 57. The Hall of Fame catcher.
And a brain tumor, and it looked for a long while like he was winning that battle, but he eventually succumbed to those tumors. Hughes taps it foul. It'll be Hughes. And then Pedro Florimon is into the on-deck circle. He's going to get an at-bat here. 3-2. The Twins have tried to claw their way back into the game with a bunch of singles. 7 of them over the last 2 innings. Busted bat. And Hughes is retired by a half step, 1 away. And that'll bring up Florimon.
Oh, good play right here as the third baseman cuts across by the shortstop. Good strong throw, but good hustle by Hughes down the line on a bang play.
Pedro Florimon was claimed by the Twins on waivers. He got 8 at-bats with the Orioles last year. Haven't heard much about him. You probably have not heard much about him. But there are some in the Twins organization who think this guy might be their shortstop of the future. And I'm talking specifically about former teammate of yours, Tom Bernansky, who was the Double-A hitting coach and saw Florimon on a regular basis last year. They said, Tom has said, this guy flat out can pick it. He's a great defensive shortstop.
Yeah, switch hitter, just 25 years old. Out of the Dominican Republic.
Hit .267 at the Double-A level last year with some power, 8 home runs, a lot of strikeouts, but a great arm, and we're kind of intrigued with the notion of maybe seeing that arm here tonight. 2-1. Outside, you know, a lot's been made over the years of the Twins having almost a revolving door at short. It's a position you don't want, a revolving door. With Jason Bartlett traded when it looked like he was going to anchor that position for a while, Christian Guzman really the last guy over any number of years to play that position for the Twins.
Yeah, before Greg Gagne. Gags, you know, part of 2 World Championship ball clubs. And we talked about it earlier. I did about the strength up the middle, how important it is.
Plouffe has been moved off of short now to the outfield after the Twins giving him an unsuccessful shot at the job last year. 3-2. On the ground, and Florimon retired, 1 or 2 down. that'll bring up Sean Burroughs, familiar name for many. Burroughs landing with the Twins after having a, shall we say, uneven major league career.
Well, I played with Dad Jeff Burroughs in Texas, MVP for the Rangers.
Burroughs out of baseball for a number of years. Twins saw him very briefly when they were in Arizona last year. He takes ball one. Burroughs did not play baseball 2008, 2009, 2010, dealing with some personal issues. Came back, got 78 at bats with the Diamondbacks last year, hit 273.
A former #1 pick by the San Diego Padres, 9th overall in the '98 draft.
2-0. And now 3-0. Tassoni on deck. And a strike. Inman with his second inning of work, having a little bit better time of it here in the 6th than he did in the 5th when he gave up 4 singles and a walk. Fly ball left center field. And it's a 1-2-3-6 for Inman and a 5-2 Boston lead.
Stadium where the Red Sox have a 5-2 lead over the Twins, and this is the first time this year this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins LLC.
It's like riding a bicycle. You just never forget, right?
Thank goodness I have it in my bathroom. Have it on the wall. Not my bicycle either.
Well, here's Deolis Guerra. And Guerra reaching a crossroads, one would think, in his, at least his Twins career. He came over to the Twins in the Johan Santana trade. He's the only body left from that trade. And he's always been an intriguing prospect because of his stature and his size. But as you saw, even at the AA level last year, he did not have a good year.
Tremendous arm. He just has not been able to control that fastball the way that the Twins organization would like him to be.
And a belt high strike, clocked at 90.
Yeah, an overpowering fastball at times, but he's just very inconsistent as far as hitting his spots.
Inside a ball. At no level since the trade has he stepped up and dominated the opposition. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, 1-2. Used almost exclusively as a starting pitcher until last year. And in trying to unlock his potential, the Twins moved him to the bullpen. There's a curve, tapped foul.
Yeah, scouting report, a fastball between 88 and 94, the curveball you just saw, and then a very good changeup. Young man, still 22 years old.
And a high fastball looped into right center field for a leadoff hit.
Well, that's what I'm talking about right there, Dick. Pretty good curveball, and then that high fastball. And you know, at this level, you keep that fastball at high level, you're going to get hit.
Alex Hassan will hit.
Let's take a look right here. See where that fastball is. And it's hammered into right center.
Hassan in for Ryan Sweeney, who went 0 for 3. He doesn't throw as hard, but he's got the same type of physique. Remember Daniel Cabrera of the Orioles, a big tall guy, long legs, and in Cabrera's case, he had a hard time commanding the strike zone. High and tight, 2-0. That really hasn't been that much of an issue for Guerra. In 680 minor league innings, 254 walks. That's not great, but that's not been the downfall for him. Nor has it been home runs. 65 home runs allowed in 680 innings. Runner goes, and the pitch bounced to short. Florimon shows off that arm, slings it over to get Hassan one away. You can follow the Twins with MLB.com @BAT12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit twinsbaseball.com for details.
Well, sometimes you look at those numbers, Dick, and it's always not walks and strikeouts. It's always what does he do with that first pitch? You know, what does he do with the second one? Okay, ball one, ball two. Well, you're going to have to come in with a pitch. Curveball.
And the throw to third might have gotten by Burrows and hit Iglesias. It looks like that's what happened. As he scampered to third, this young man, this is Chiasso, who stole third base. And so now there's a runner at third with one out. The Twins will bring the infield in. Will Middlebrooks, the hitter. Big breaking ball missing, and it's 2-0. Guerra, 6'5", 245 pounds, from Venezuela. And you mentioned too, Bert, he's been around in this organization for a long time, but still just 22 years of age.
Signed very young with the New York Mets back in 2008.
Chopped into left field, a base hit, and a run will score.
Again, situations like that, you know, I mean, what's the count? 2-0. He has to come in with a pitch, and he gives up the RBI single. Middlebrooks picks up his first hit, picks up an RBI.
Lars Anderson will hit. Ortiz with a pair of extra base hits. David Ortiz, a home run and a double off the glove and or the fence in left center. The glove of Trevor Plouffe. Down and away, ball one. Six to 2 Boston. Red Sox out hitting the Twins 8-7. Lifted foul down by the Twins bullpen. Find out who our next pitcher will be. Him.
I believe that's Darrell Thompson. Is that 66 or 68? That's 66. That's Brendan Wise.
1-1 to Anderson. And now 2-1. Well, you look at the Twins pitching here tonight, and without exception, the most effective inning was pitched by Gutierrez. And what did he do that no one else did? Pound the strike zone. He threw strikes. Anderson squares, takes a strike.
Yeah, Liam Hendricks pitched very well.
Yeah.
2 very good innings.
But Gutierrez was out there and off the mound before we could even talk much about him. A couple of strikeouts and a quick pop-up. Down low, 3-2. Linares on deck. Middlebrooks goes, and the pitch is ball 4. So Garrett gives up a couple of hits and a walk to the first 4 batters he faces. And that'll bring up Linares. Linares called out on strikes in his first at bat back in the 5th inning. Popped up behind second base. Infield fly rules called for the second out. So 2 down. And now Nate Spears will hit. Last year the Red Sox got off to a terrible start. Played very well early in the midway through the season. Were in the driver's seat for a playoff spot, and then they collapsed for an historically bad finish to the season. And of course they're in a division where you can't afford to play poorly for any length of time, with a very good young Tampa Bay team, the Yankees, an improved Toronto team.
Well, what do you think about the new wild card that the baseball's put into play? 10 of 30 teams will make the playoffs.
Yeah. I think it's a direct result of what the Twins went through in back-to-back seasons, where those games, the loss in Chicago and the game 163 against the Tigers, were so fascinating to watch. The ratings for television were so great. I think they had to find a way to have, in essence, a game 163, which is all this wild card 1-game matchup is. It's one extra game to advance one of the 2 teams into the playoff field of 4 in each league.
If I read it right, they're doing the 2-3
right
playoffs for the first round rather than the 2-2-1.
Here's a drive to the right field corner. And a fair ball. It hit the chalk line, and it'll be a ground rule double. So Guerra gives up another run on a ball hit right down the right field line and kicked up some chalk. And the Red Sox now lead at 7-2.
Let's take a look at the pitch right here. Fastball pretty much right there. Good solid swing. And the ball bouncing out of the ballpark, so a ground rule double. So Anderson, who was at first base, has to stop at third.
Luis Exposito, the hitter, with 2 men on and 2 out. The main reason that the playoff format has changed in terms of 2-3 rather than 2-2-1. The regular season starting late. In fact, the regular season starting for the Twins
on my birthday.
There you go, April 6th. The World Series dates were already set, and I believe the last 2 games of the World Series would be in November, as it is right now. So now they're trying to shoehorn this extra playoff game in, and to accommodate that, they're taking away a travel day from the next round of the playoffs.
Right.
2 strikes to Daniel Butler is the hitter now. Nice block by Rolfing. What do you think of the wild card matchup? 1 game to advance.
I didn't like it when I first heard it, but you know, it's going to create more revenue. A Players Association agreed. I just wonder if there's going to be, what if there is a 1-game playoff between, you know, who's going to be the wild card team? Then what do you do? I think it was thrown in here very quickly to where the schedule was already set, like you mentioned. Hopefully it'll run smoothly.
Breaking ball foul back, still 1-2. And again, I just think that the ratings that the Twins-White Sox game got a few years ago, and then the next year, the epic game between the Tigers and the Twins, the ratings that those games got a lot of people's attention, and it comes down to dollars and cents and TV ratings. Deep down the left field line, and a 3-run home run, making it a 5-run inning here against Deolis Guerra. On a 1-2 pitch, Butler cranks a 3-run home run.
Well, watch how Butler turns on this pitch inside, just opening up. And a ball flying down that left field line out of the ballpark for a big 3-run home run. Opens up the ball game to a 10-2 Red Sox lead.
Fastball and a swing and a miss. So the Red Sox with a 4-run inning in the second, and now a 5-run 7th. One and one. Yeah, they've already laid out the scenario. What might happen, say, if the Red Sox have to go out to the West Coast to play a game 163 and then have to fly back to the East Coast to play the wild card game, all in a span of 48 hours. And meanwhile, Rick Anderson wondering what he has to do, what the organization has to do to unlock the puzzle of Deolis Guerra. 2-2. And he misfires, full count. There's Wise. He's warmed up and ready to come in, perhaps after this pitch, if Guerra can't throw it over the plate. driven to right. And a line drive will end the inning. Good inning for the Red Sox, though. A 3-run home run and a 5-run seventh to bust the game open. Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Get a freshly brewed cup of premium roast coffee from McDonald's, any size for just $1. And by Toyota and your local Toyota dealer. Here at Hammond Stadium, the Red Sox have hit a couple of home runs to break open the ball game now to make it 10-2. Ortiz home run in the fourth, or a third inning, I should say, and then a 3-run home run in the seventh. Here's Rene Tassone taking strike one.
Yeah, Brandon Duckworth on the mound now for the Boston Red Sox. In his second season with the Red Sox, last year spent the whole season down in AAA. Duckworth has some major league experience with the Phillies, the Astros, the Kansas City Royals. Had some injuries that has set his career back.
Way out in front of the changeup, and it's 1-2. Now the Twins saw Duckworth when he was with the Royals, parts of 3 seasons, parts of 2 years with the Astros. Actually, won 8 ball games for the Phillies back in 2002. 1-2 to Tassone. And down the middle, a strike. Strike 3 for the first out of the seventh inning, I should say. Log on to foxsportsnorth.com for Tyler Mason's complete coverage of Minnesota Twins spring training baseball. Glad you're with us for our first of 5 spring training telecasts. You should be encouraged that just about every game the Twins play during the regular season will be televised. Locally here, we will be televising 150. There are 5, perhaps 6 Fox national telecasts that the Twins will be involved with. So just a handful of games won't be on television. Down and away, 2-0. Brian Dinkelman had a chance to play for the Twins last year.
He hit over 300.
And a little roller, and I mean roller, to second base, 2 down. And now Rolfing will hit. Mentioned the 4 teams on the rise in the American League East. Didn't mean to do Buck Showalter's Orioles a disservice, but the Orioles are rebuilding, and that's whom the Twins will play to start the season, starting 1 month from tomorrow. Twins have kind of a curious schedule in terms of their road appearances early. We go to Baltimore to start the season, then don't go back there. Play 4 games in New York on the next road trip. We don't go back there. We have 3 games in St. Petersburg against the Rays. Then we don't return there. We go to Los Angeles after that for the only trip of the year.
Get them over with, I guess.
I guess.
And then Toronto, the last 3. That's our only time in Toronto.
Right.
Will be the last 3 games of the season.
We will face the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 9 times over the course of the season, but we will be done with them on May 9th. They come to Target Field twice. We go there in between. 2-2 to Rolfing. It'll pop up behind the plate. And Duckworth has a 1-2-3-7.
Let's take a look at the Grand Casino story of the game. Jason Marquis started for the Twins, gave up a run, 4 runs in the second inning. David Ortiz, a solo home run in the third. Twins come back. Willingham, Domit get base hits. Nishioka gets an RBI single, puts the Twins on the board, followed by an RBI single by Joe Mauer. Good piece of hitting there.
And so now the Twins will take a look at Brendan Wise, who was signed as a free agent out of the Tiger organization.
Yeah, Wise out of Australia. This is his 8th year of professional baseball. Those are his numbers last year in the Tiger organization, like you mentioned, between AA Erie and Toledo.
Kind of a side armor, keeps the ball down. And we'll see how he fares here in the Boston 8th inning. A little Linsanity here for the Red Sox. Shea-Swan Lin. And a jam shot and a little roller to short.
Yeah, see his arm.
On the run, throws a rocket over there.
You know, could do that, Christian Guzman. When Guzzi first came up, boy, he had a great arm, just like that. Watch this little flip. Okay, it took him a little extra time to find a grip on that baseball, but boy, got something on that throw.
So 1 down here in the 8th inning. Ziriasso, the hitter for the Red Sox. To center. And Tassoni's out there to grab it. Out number 2. Now Hassan will hit. You know, the thing that Wise has is his delivery is just peculiar enough. It's more of a sidearm delivery, and a lot of guys have pitched a long time in the big leagues with kind of a funky delivery, something that's out of the ordinary. And Wise looks like he's got that, and that might help explain some, at times, very impressive minor league numbers. Now, he's never thrown a pitch in the big leagues yet, but from that third base angle, you can see his delivery. And of course, we all know Pat Neshek for about a year and a half was about as good a setup guy as there was in the American League before his arm got hurt.
I think, Dick, hitters are taught to look for the ball out of, say, the hat, like Rod Caruso. They always look to the bill of the hat, and all of a sudden, you have someone like a Kent DeCalvey or a Dan Quisenberry that, went from underneath or at different angle. It is a little sometimes hard to pick up. Looks like he hides the ball well right in there.
In his minor league numbers, 128 walks in 424 innings. That's very good. Just 20 home runs allowed, which is very, very good. Sliced foul.
Heck, I gave those up by June. Tip of the hat.
One and two. And a tapper to third. Nice dig at first. And a good inning for Brendan Wise.
Fox Sports North.
Ten to 2 Boston. Twins came into the game with a 2-1 mark in Grapefruit League play. If you're out and about this week, stop by one of the Twins pro shops in Apple Valley, Roseville, or Minnetonka. If you're downtown, the Majestic Athletic Clubhouse right there at Target Field. Get set up for the season with Twins gear. Shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, caps. Great selections at 4 convenient locations. Steve Pearce leading things off for the Twins in the bottom of the 8th. Ball 1.
Here's some major league time with the Pittsburgh Pirates over the last 5 years.
Bert Blyleven and Dick Bramer, glad you're with us. We're at Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers, Florida. Beautiful night for baseball, but Jason Marquis struggled with his command in his 2 innings of work to start the ball game. And the Twins didn't take advantage of Clay Buchholz's erratic control early in the ball game. 4 runs for the Red Sox in the second. A couple of home runs since for Boston, including a 3-run home run in the 7th against Deolis Guerra, who was charged with 5 runs. A strike, 3-1. The pertinent things about tonight's game, though, involve Joe Mauer, who got a couple of hits early in the ball game with a big pop-up behind third base. 1 down. Justin Morneau went hitless. Denard Span walked and singled. We are on the air again tomorrow. We don't expect Mauer or Morneau, or for that matter Span, to make the trip. The camp is too full to ask players at this point of the season to play in back-to-back games. We're on the air at noon tomorrow from Port Charlotte. Well, the last time I did a game there, here's a drive off the bat of Oswaldo Arcia. That's out number 2. Last time I was in Port Charlotte to do a telecast, the Rangers were still there. 2 down, and here's Trevor Plouffe. Josh Willingham drew a couple of walks and a single tonight in his 3 plate appearances. Ryan Doumit with a walk and a single. 7 hits for the Twins, all of them singles. Strike 1. Plouffe entered the game in left field, replacing Doumit. Curve over for a strike. 2 strikes. And a high fastball gets Plouffe, who goes down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. It's 10-2 Boston. Red Sox have a 4-run second and a 5-run 7th tonight. And as we go to the 9th inning, Tyler Robertson will pitch for the Twins.
Yeah, Robertson, a 3rd-round pick by the Twins back in 2006. Those are his numbers last year at Double-A. Very good. 55 appearances, 10 wins out of that bullpen. 3.61 ERA.
And we talked earlier about Guerra and how the Twins moved him to the bullpen last year to try to find a role that he could be effective in. It didn't really work so well for Guerra, but it did work well for Robertson.
Yeah, it's really his first year as far as out of the bullpen. And prior to that, he was mainly a starter.
One and one.
Robertson just 24 years old, 6'5", about 255, so a big guy. Fastball that can hit low 90, hard slider, curveball, and a changeup.
Was the closer for the New Britain team last year, 16 saves. With a little nubber up the line, but foul. Twins really struggled with their relief corps last year, the worst bullpen ERA in Major League Baseball, and that is so anti-Twins. One of the reasons this team has had an extended run of success is because the bullpen's been pretty reliable for all of those years, and it was hardly that last year. Oy. Solid rocket up the middle and a base hit to start the ninth inning against Robertson.
I'll take a look at the pitch. Fastball right there. Good solid swing by Middlebrooks. And he gets his second hit. Get out of the way.
I'm amazed you said this before. 22 years in the big leagues and you never got hit
above the waist.
Above the waist.
Oh. Very lucky.
Anderson takes a strike.
I'm not saying some of them probably nicked my ear, but never actually hit me. How about A.J. Burnett with the Yankees?
Man.
He goes over to Pittsburgh working on bunting, bunts a ball into his right eye, and he gets surgery. Could miss 2 or 3 months.
Orbital fracture around the eye socket, I guess, and of course you see that, and the first thing you think is, well, this guy hasn't practiced bunting much at all in his time with Toronto and then with New York. Was with the Marlins before that, but big swing and a miss.
Good hard slider there.
Robertson gets a strikeout. So one down here in the ninth inning.
Look at the breaking ball right here. Good location.
Juan Carlos Linares. I mentioned 4 more telecasts this year, but this is our only telecast with the Red Sox, so maybe we ought to bring fans up to date. There is no more Mayor's Cup.
No, Ron Gardenhire says he has it up in a cabin in Minnesota, and he's not bringing it back.
Well, my goodness, there was so much to play for.
Well, Gardy has it, so the Twins win. There's a schedule right there. Tomorrow against the Rays down in Port Charlotte. Then the Yankees on Sunday, and then March 21st in Detroit and in Lakeland.
Well, the Tigers hit 6 home runs in their spring training debut.
Get them out of the way.
Pulled foul. Oh, I'm not working the game solo, so do you happen to know who's going to be
I was told you are doing it solo
is that
in
right?
Lakeland. Yes.
Oh, I think we're combining the telecast with the Detroit crew. I believe that's what we're doing. And I'm representing the Minnesota Twins. I'll consider it like an all-star appearance. 2-1.
When you're there, if you run into Officer Peter, please give him my best.
What county is that in again?
It's in Lakeland.
Yeah. 2-1. None of it matters, of course, until April 6th in Baltimore. A high chopper.
Turn it.
Bobbled by Burrows, and he gets the out at first. Had a chance for the force at second, and instead got the out at first. Well, Burrows obviously realizes he needs to make this play at second base.
Yeah, just lost the grip of the baseball, but alertly bare hands it and then does get the out at first base.
Here's Nate Spears with 2 gone in the ninth.
Your children are in the booth. You realize that they must have run out of money.
They're going to wheel me back to the car, I think.
Eric and Hannah in here just to give Dad some
moral support.
Trouble.
That's
trouble.
Right.
Aren't they supposed to be in school?
They are. They're on a field trip. That's what we call this, a Florida field trip.
And how long does this field trip last?
It'll last about a week.
Well, welcome to Florida.
2 strikes for Robertson as he tries to put away Spears and get the Twins off the field here in the 9th inning. And there's a called 3rd strike. So Robertson pitches around a leadoff single, and the Twins have a lot of coming back to do in the bottom of the 9th. A couple of Mauer fans here. More importantly, the real Joe Mauer been participating in spring training activity. He's had a good game here today.
Yeah, high fastball right there from Padilla, and then the RBI single that scored the 2nd run for the Twins. That coming in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Nevertheless, the Red Sox have a 10-2 lead. Sean Burrows and Ramirez will hit here, trying to do some damage here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
And the Red Sox bring in a reliever, Jesse Carlson, who the Twins saw a little bit of when he was with the Toronto Blue Jays, signed as a minor league free agent by the Red Sox over the winter.
Carlson will sling his pitches first to Wilkin Ramirez, signed as a free agent. Ramirez, a little bit of major league time with the Tigers, 11 at bats a few years ago, 26 at bats with the Braves last year. Hopes to be in the outfield mix for the Twins at the secondary level, I guess. And a fastball inside. And earlier we were talking about Brendan Wise and his unique delivery from the left side. Carlson's got a unique delivery.
Just told by the truck 300 pitches have been thrown here tonight.
Is that all?
Between both teams.
Well, and it was really both teams. Marquis struggled for the Twins, but Buchholz was hardly efficient with his offerings in the first two innings. Got a big double play ball off the bat of Joe Mauer in the first inning. 1-2, and Ramirez takes a pitch, looked like it had plenty of the plate, called ball 2. And now 3-2. Most left-handers, when they follow through, they follow through and fall toward the third base dugout. Carlson falls toward the first base dugout. Lifted to right field for the first out.
He falls that way, Dick, because watch where his release point is. His shoulder stays in, and that's the follow through right there. That looks like that would hurt.
Here's Florimon, second at bat for the Twins shortstop prospect. Hit a bouncer to short his first time up. We saw him hit from the left side before. Now he'll hit from the right side, and he takes a strike at the knees. Down the right field line. And Florimon retired. 2 away. Sean Burroughs will hit. Burroughs with a fly to left his first time up. Strike that covers the inside corner. Lifted to left center. 3 fly ball outs end the game. And the Twins' Grapefruit League record now sits at 2-2.
Well, I think what we saw here tonight is Jason Marquis just kind of getting his feet wet a little bit. He struggled in the second inning, but hopefully that'll get better as the spring goes on. A lot of guys got some at-bats, some good at-bats for Joe Mauer. So building blocks.
The only night game of the Grapefruit League schedule ends in a Twins loss 10-2. We'll be back to wrap things up from Hammond Stadium in a moment.